Hi, Taurus. All right, welcome to the space. Sorry, it's a little bit dark. Well, not sorry, really. Let me reword that. Hi, Taurus. I hope you had a nice birthday. How are you? I decided to do you and Scorpio in the backyard. They were first, so you're more in the nighttime than they are. Which shows a kind of strength for you, which is a good thing. Just a minute. Ginger beer. Did you hear that? Maybe we'll add a little more light. Let's see if we can add a little bit more light. Although this is actually really... Oh, look at that. Funny. Thank you. Ask and ye shall receive, eh? Cool. Just 1 second. Few seconds. Okay. So, what do you want, Taurus? You, like Scorpio, the want is something that's sort of obvious, or what you're wanting is something that is important for you to look to. Let's see what you need. Well, I guess to get the little things out of the way, clean it up a little. Okay, what do you need? Ooh, Magician. So your magic, or your talents, come from somewhere, right? But I heard, to really make something magical, the heart has to believe. I guess there could be a bit of I heard disbelief in others. Well, I guess the question is how much do you believe other people can achieve? Like, what do you think that level is, or that cap? Like, where does that, what do you think that is? I heard maybe do people around you first, right? Real personal world, and then just maybe people of the world. What do you think about that? Got to rearrange a little. Hold on. What we're working here with is something that, obviously, whatever you're dealing with, you have to kind of keep tending it, right? Especially if you're trying to, for instance, create something. I guess that's something to also remember. It isn't what necessarily is said, spoken, or thought. That's a part of it. But how things really happen is by physical action. I mean, you gotta start with the idea. But again, it goes into the heart has to be in it, right? Because sometimes even when we speak a word or ask for something, like verbally, for instance, it can match with the heart, right? And I think that's when we receive things when we're like, but you didn't really know it was going to happen, right? And then it happens. And then there are times when you receive things that are sort of like what you asked for, but they're a little bit different. But that's because your heart, well, I heard either wasn't in it all the way, or you're receiving what your heart really needs. But right now I see that you can create more than what you have. And I guess also like magic or creation is not something that should be forced. Do you know what I mean? Life is magical. And nature is magical, and we don't have to do anything at all, right? The seasons change, the flowers bloom, the animals migrate. Like, it's amazing. The wind blows, the sun comes out, the moon comes out. It's wild. All right, let's see how you're feeling. Oh, 6 of Cups. A little reminiscent. A little sweet. I heard thinking about the good old days. But I heard, don't be that, is it a Bruce Springsteen song? That's like, when I get old, I don't want to be that guy sitting around talking about the good old days, you know? Because it's also like, what's happening now, again, is so magical and so cool, right? There's parts of it. Even if it's hard, there's still parts that are super magical. I guess it's about the perspective, too. Maybe that's a part of what you need is like a different perspective. Something, I guess, with Gemini. I also see your 2nd house. Okay. What's your strength? Ooh, Knight of Swords. Well, you got some strong friends, eh? I guess your strength is also to be understood. But that only comes from well, I heard you being able to integrate into things, like know when to fold into something, know when to unfold out of something. I heard when you're chasing anything, if for some of you there's any neediness too, that could be something, because I keep seeing this Knight of Swords going towards the 3 of Cups, like, hey, wait for me, wait for me. Well, I heard what was this Knight of Swords already doing? Like, what was his plan or their plan? What's your plan right now? What are you excited about? I also see that you're you'd have some really supportive, smart friends right now that could help you with some problem-solving situations too. I do feel as if socialization would be a very good thing. If you haven't talked to somebody, you could reach out. But also remember that no matter near or far, Taurus, well, a real friend is somebody that you know, you could not talk to for a year. Or, you know, think about it when we didn't have telephones and internet and all this kind of stuff. You know, you'd have to send a telegram. And even before that, there really wasn't any way. You know, that's probably why people would say so long, because it would probably be so long until you saw them again, or heard from them again, right? But now we have that opportunity. But we still have that, I guess, some sort of more old-fashioned, like, awareness. You know, if a wolf comes across another wolf, they don't cry when, I heard they don't cry when they don't get a text back. You know what I mean? They're just grateful to run into it and be like, wow, somebody like me, cool, hi, how you doing? You know, and then if you come across them again along the path, well then awesome. And I actually feel like that's a part of it is, I guess there could be a part of you that also is sort of wanting to kind of hurry something along. But there's also something really slow and steady about it. It's almost like there's a back and forth energy, which can be very positive because that can build momentum. You know what I mean? Kind of like a pendulum. Let's see. Okay. So for some of you, a good portion of you, I heard it really clear. Part of your weakness is your mother or the death of your mother. I guess it all goes back to your mother. Now, so this could be her actions literally, but it could also be, I guess it could be the mother of your children too, but again, it goes back into the mother. The point is that well, let's put some light in here before we get into that. Man, it takes a lot of air to do that. Alright, I guess we have to talk about it this way. It's more scorpionic. So, if it isn't her literally, although I feel like that's a part of it for all of you, but there's something where it's sort of like, because this is in your weakness, right? Well, your weakness is to be uncomfortable. So, how do you ensure your own comfortability as an individual person? Right, because the mother is here also, in I guess in a weakness sense, to be like comforted from something outside of you, or having to care for somebody else. But Pluto's in retrograde, and I feel like this is a part of this too. Is that I think I feel like for everybody, there's going to be something that's slightly uncomfortable. So that people can push their limits, but in a positive way, so that they can create something new. But that does cause going without something, not in ways of suffering, because you just got the Ten of Pentacles and the Sun. Like, this is a very positive, loving, growth together energy. So maybe that also shows that the reflection back here goes back into home and this Empress kind of energy. So maybe, again, I see a part of it is that I guess this is the question, is like, how did your mother create? Or like, because it has a big influence on you, I guess. Not only with what you create, like how you feel about yourself. But I guess also how you feel about anything scorpionic. Death, sex, power, right? Strength, change. So how do you feel about those things? Do you feel like those words would be something that you would define yourself as at this time? It'll go again. Let's try to make it happen. Some things are worth the effort. And you definitely have to make your own light. This is what makes you faithful. Let me see here. I guess you also have a strength right now, or somebody has a strength right now in your life to help correct something. There's a person, how do I see this energy? Well, I guess what I see is you know the truth of the matter. Particularly when it comes to kind of other people. And so well, I just keep hearing, it's all good. It's all good. Like, you don't need to worry about it. Because what do you need again? Again, the Magician. So you need all four elements, right? You need you need a sharp sword. You need a cup to hold. I heard the sacred waters. You need fire. You need fire to boil the water to make steam, which actually makes this goes back into air, and then that causes some sort of momentum to physically do something. And you have to do all of these things. So I guess that's also something in this time to think about is what does need to be attended to, and maybe it's a little bit less for some of you about interpersonal, like if this is your job, that's a different story, but well, I heard there's something about giving space. Just a minute. Right. Like there were so many steps that came before this fire being able to happen, right? This energy to be able to be expressed and created in a physical way. And I heard you are ready for something too. Like, let's see, what do you want? Well, I guess something with Scorpio. You wanna, this is the other side of you, right? There's something about not struggling in there, or realizing that you're closer than you think that you are to working out a stage of that. Again, this could go into, deep into your history, power, sex, money, whatever. These are things that, well, I heard you're not supposed to struggle with. But I guess in a way, you might a little bit, because the other side of you is Scorpio and it's a test. And it's uncomfortable over there, right? Sometimes, so, it's the most enlightening to me. And you have to go through that space to get to Taurus, to really know the power of Taurus and use the power and energy of Taurus anyway. Because otherwise you can't go through that door, right? It's blocked either way. Or it's blocked if you do not go that way. You know, you have to put in so much hard work, right? And then you have to... well, you have to put in so much hard work, and then you have to have faith, and then you have to wait. And even while you're waiting, you have to do other things. And I heard, and handle it all, right? That magician. And then when things spring up, you're going to feel really good about it. And even after they bloom, you know, then they fade and spread their seeds and continue on. Even do it this way. Well, I guess maybe this reading is also expressing that sometimes, you know, speaking of that Scorpio energy, the other side of you, is that there's always a light in the darkness. And things don't always have to be, like, big and bright. Well, I heard it doesn't really work that way anyway. Forcing something to be a kind of way. It's just letting it, I heard letting it go, letting it grow. and being ready for... Well, I heard what you would like the future to be. You know, readying yourself for that. I guess Leo also, and I see again a bit of Scorpio. It's kind of strong here. Is something that's in your heart space. And I guess I feel like Gemini's reading could be very helpful for you. They are your neighbor. Yes, yes, yes. I mean, Scorpio too, of course. Scorpio and Gemini. Those would be helpful for you. I communicate what I desire. I heard, how's that going for you? And remember, from now until October also, it's a wonderful time to think about how you can take what you have learned and use it it's like I just saw someone with remember, you're walking through the forest, right? The field is on the right, the forest is on the left. You're walking through the forest, and it's like you actually found a path. I saw you. And you had some really basic, you had some basic tools on you that were very helpful as you go along. And I also feel like as you're going along the path, you also meet friends. You know what I mean? Now remember, not everybody you meet upon the path is your friend. You have to determine that, right? Again, Scorpio's the other side of you, but you are Venusian. So sometimes I find that you, Libra, and Leo have the hardest time with this one. Right, it's good to know, for instance, well, there are friends and foes, I guess. Just remember that. It's not like you need to have, spar with them as you go along, but just, because I saw something come out of the woods and kind of be like, hey, you want to come over here? And so you got to trust yourself upon the path, because you'll still get where you're going, but there are some things you have to say no to, I guess. Let's try one more time. Oh, fucker. Oopsie. Your Pisces and Sagittarius houses also will be being highlighted and expanding in those. So whatever's going on in there and how you're working with that energy is how that is going to expand. So this can be positive and negative. So make sure that, again, you're checking in with that heart space and why is he continuing to let down some walls and not fight any changes? Like, be open to them and feel brave. Yes, please. In your own power, right? You're allowed to be the King of Swords, or the King, yeah, King of Swords, King of Wands. I heard whatever you want, right? Because remember, if you are taking the action to do something, then that is kingly energy. It's masculine energy. It's out. It's happening. It needs to happen to help move things forward, right? The action, the idea, the action, the feeling matches. I heard the pot swirls around. You make the fire. You know, this makes the steam. And then there is your physical result. And I actually see that if, I guess you go in this order, or fine tune this, I heard this recipe. Did we already say this? Like, success is yours. You know? Not only in ways of like your lessons and your spiritual space, if you're curious about that, but also in a very physical, sort of tangible, practical way. You know, like you feel more steady in yourself. Oh, I forgot to mention to close this out. Oh, the sun on the bottom. Awesome. One of the energies I did actually see, whoops, was Uranus and Taurus in the first house. So this is obviously specific to you, Taurus rising or ascendant. But in general, well, it's changing your mentality, right? Back to that magician. Like what, and Pluto in retrograde, it's like, what do you think that you can achieve? You know? Emotionally, physically, sensually, whatever. But I think it's, well, I just keep seeing like a scorpion's tail. And so I guess just be aware of what you're afraid of. Consciously, because subconsciously you're already aware of it. And I see, please watch, remember, Scorpio and Gemini's reading. Thank you, Taurus. I hope you have a wonderful now. I really do hope that you had a nice birthday, or whoever's here, you're having the happiest now as much as possible. If you're not there, just quite, then you will be. You want to see the moon before you go? Before we go? Take care of yourself, Taurus. I'll talk to you next time. Peace.